The stages of agricultural marketing. There are 7 basic stages in any product marketing, though their order may change depending on the product. We'll review these stages throughout this section: assemblage, transportation, storage, sorting, grading and classification, processing, packaging, distribution, and retailing. Assemblage. The assemblage stage involves gathering the products or pieces that make up a product for assembly. With a manufactured or factory-made product, this involves the raw materials or the previously made parts of a product. In the indirect marketing of agriculture, assemblage involves bringing the crops to central locations for wholesalers, processors, or retailers. Collecting crops or produce together is an efficient way to market goods. Storage. At some point in marketing, the product needs to be stored or placed together in one location. Storage may happen on the farm, in another local location, or at an industrial storage facility. There may be multiple storage stages depending on the distance between crop and consumer. Storage for significant quantities of agricultural products requires large storage facilities. Additionally, most agricultural products require storage at specific and constant temperature and humidity levels. Given this, adequate storage is one of the challenges in agricultural marketing facing Nigerian farmers. Transportation. The stage of transportation involves bringing products from one stage to another. There may be multiple transportation stages depending on the number of steps from farmer to consumer. Transportation may involve several locations or different spaces on one site. Transportation is needed to move products to wholesalers, distribution and processing centers, and then to retailers, for instance. As with storage, any mode of transportation requires efficient vehicles that can carry and protect a large amount of product. Often, these vehicles must also maintain a specific temperature and humidity. The seasonal nature of produce means that many farmers are in need of transportation at the same time. This causes significant competition for transportation resources at reasonable prices. Since transportation eventually gets products to the consumer, the transportation of products is a critical stage in agricultural marketing. Transportation problems are one of the challenges facing farmers. Besides the seasonal competition, other transportation problems could include unsafe and/or poor roadways, fuel costs, distance to the consumer, delays in supply, or a lack of vehicles. Produce sorting and standardization. The stage of produce sorting happens after harvest. Farm workers separate products of different qualities in produce sorting, enabling the standardization of the product. Standardization ensures that the product offered to the consumer is of a consistent quality. Produce standards vary according to the product. Standardization attempts to prevent the adulteration of a product. Some agents along a marketing channel change the content of a product in an attempt to increase the money earned by the product sale. Produce sorting. Produce sorting ensures that products that are too small, damaged, moldy, or of otherwise poor quality are removed from crops heading to the consumer or plant. Depending on the goal, produce sorting may or may not involve the industry standards for each crop. Moldy corn kernels, such as those shown to the right, should be weeded out through produce sorting. Produce grading. Produce grading involves sorting by product grade. Produce grading sorts crops into ranked categories desired by the market. Grading produce must meet standards established by the market and enforced by a government or organization that oversees agricultural quality. Produce grades may be labeled according to flavor, degree of ripeness, size, shape, or other crop-specific market category. Since the produce is labeled with its grade and must meet specific standards, produce grading allows the consumer to purchase the produce that they desire. Grading eliminates the need to inspect the produce, making it especially helpful with crop exportation, a topic we'll review later in this unit. Product classification. Once products are sorted and graded, they are classified according to their use, price, and desired consumer. This is less of a critical stage for produce and other agricultural goods, but classification can still be helpful when identifying the ideal customer. Product classifications include topics such as convenience and specialty products. With agriculture, different products can be classified according to their use. Different spices, for instance, might come from multiple producers or processors, but are under the same classification as they are destined for the same retailers and consumers. Processing. Agricultural processing is often needed to make the products ready for the customer. Processing products serves as an additional quality check, preserves the item, and makes it stand out from competitors. Product processing varies according to the product and target consumer. Some examples of agricultural product processing include cleaning and/or stem removal, pressing to oil or milling, grinding to flour, pitting or shelling, trimming, cutting to size, stewing or other method of cooking, soaking or drying, freezing or other preservation method, and any other crop-specific processing need. Product processing may be completed on the farm or at an intermediate processing facility. Since many forms of produce must be fresh when they reach the consumer, rapid and efficient processing is critical. Traditional. Traditional methods of processing are simple and do not require many, if any, tools. Traditional methods of processing involve manual labor. These methods, such as sun-drying or grating, often take significant amounts of time. Intermediate. Intermediate processing methods involve manually operated machinery. Intermediate processing requires both labor and tools. Examples of intermediate processing machines include hand pressers, shellers, fryers, extractors for pitting, and graters. Even if conducted on a small scale, intermediate processing takes a long time to complete. Advanced. Advanced processing methods use sophisticated machinery. Though they are the most efficient means of processing, these machines are expensive and may be located a significant distance from the original farm or wholesaler. Challenges in the processing stage of agricultural marketing include distance to large intermediate processing plants, ineffective small-scale processing, and a lack of efficient, mechanized, and/or technologically advanced processing plants. Packaging. The stage of packaging enables easy handling by labor, efficient transportation of the item, and protection of the product before it reaches the consumer. Why might this stage be important for both the consumer and the producer? Discuss. Consistent packaging protects the product from bruising or exposure and ensures that each customer receives the same amount, unit or weight of product. Proper packaging ensures that the product is attractive to the customer and the transportation is efficient. Both help the producer and consumer. The boxes of mangoes at the right can be stacked tightly while they are transported to a retailer. Common packaging options include crates, boxes, bags, and baskets. Some products, such as meats or eggs, require Protect-specific packaging for product protection. Packaging requires investment for the material and labor to package. There are not many large-scale industrial processing, packaging, or distribution centers in Nigeria. The lack of available packaging opportunities is the biggest challenge facing producers at this stage. If an appropriate packaging center is available, the distance from the producer may make it unaffordable. Distribution. Distribution sends the product to many markets and finally to the consumer. There are 4 methods of distribution in Africa: road, rail, water, and air. Each method has its own benefits and challenges, which are reviewed on the following slides. Distribution by road. The most common method of distribution is by roadway. Farmers who distribute via roadway may use a vehicle or beast of burden. This method is the most accessible for farmers, resulting in its use for the majority of agricultural products. Challenges to the use of roadways include poorly maintained roads, inefficient routes, high fuel costs, and safety concerns along the road. Distribution by rail. Although the Nigerian railway system was first established to transport minerals and agricultural products, it is not used frequently for transportation now. Challenges to railway distribution include poorly maintained and managed rails and trains. As road quality improves, train transport has become less economical. Distribution by air. Distribution by air is rarely used within Nigeria. However, there are 4 international airports that can be used for global cargo distribution. Though distribution by air is relatively small at present, it will likely grow as international exports grow. The Niger and Benue rivers and their tributaries create an internal cargo transport system. Regular dredging, the removal of sediment and debris at the bottom of the rivers, is necessary to move cargo along waterways. Distribution by waterway is also challenged by low water levels when rainfall is insufficient. Choosing distribution methods. You should consider the following when determining the best distribution channel for your produce. Dependability. Can this distribution method be relied upon to meet your scheduled product deliveries? Not only should your products arrive as promised, but they need to do so when the product is still fresh for the consumer. Speed. How long will the product take to reach its next stop? Will the method of distribution move according to schedule? Frequency. How often does this distribution method move between producer and destination? Infrequent movement increases the cost of distribution and may not be efficient. Capability. Can this method of transport properly protect and transport the product? For example, does the cargo need to be refrigerated? Does this method allow for refrigerated transport? Cost. How much does this method of distribution cost? The cost of distribution lowers the total money earned from the product. Retailing. A retailer's ultimate goal is to sell products. To do this, they must obtain products and display them for the consumer. Producers can sell to retailers directly, but retailers usually purchase from wholesalers as they obtain a lower price due to high volume of product. Retailers can also help the producer with advertising, processing, packaging, and distribution. Advertising. Advertising brings awareness and availability of the product to the consumer. The service of advertising has costs associated with it. These costs must be considered. While the producer may wish to advertise on their own, this is often completed by the retailer. Advertising may be conducted by television, radio, newspapers, billboards or roadside signs, and/or internet, including social media. Challenges in agricultural marketing. To recap, problems in agricultural marketing include small-scale farms, large distances between producers or suppliers and consumers, a lack of standardized weights and other measurements of quantity, the bulkiness of products and perishability of produce, inadequate transportation methods, inadequate processing and storage facilities, and inefficient handling and packaging. Additional problems in agricultural marketing include inadequate financing, a lack of understanding about the consumer or market, adulteration or changes that affect the quality or standard of the product, activities of middlemen, instability of prices, a poor or lack of understanding about production and marketing. A successful farmer works to prevent as many of these challenges as possible.